Hello, and welcome back to a Fishy Plant Man plant production with me as your host, Fishy Plant Man. Okay, I thought I would show you another one of the holiday cactuses, another Thanksgiving cactus, because I've been looking at some videos and apparently people are putting out info videos about these. And, well, to be perfectly honest, I wonder how much info they have. Yeah. Everything from putting them in a box for 12 to 16 hours to, which one it is, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Easter, by when they bloom. First one makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, there's ways, I suppose, of getting them to bloom. But these plants, like this one and the others that I have, I don't need to do anything to get them to bloom. There's even a bit of a night light. Here, I'll go. You know what? I won't get the cord, but I'll go get the night light contraption. Maybe I'll go for it and get the cord too. I'm going to pause the video, have a think, and do it. Okay, I'm back. This is the little night light that I call it a night light. It, illuminates jellyfish in this case. But, yeah. Those little lights there, there's 6 LEDs, and they just keep changing, red, blue, and green, and they're rather bright. I mean, 4 of them are lit up pretty much at any given time, and they're rather bright. It sits in the center of the pedestal that the cactuses are on. Still blooms, even with a night light 24/7. That never turns off. It's old. I've had it, I think, longer than these cactuses. That's not dirt. That's not coming off. The mirror reflection is, I don't know, failing. So, yeah. Those are on 24 hours. Now, what sits on this, because that would just be completely stupid by itself, let me show you the jellyfish that sits on it. All right. There it is, the jellyfish that sits on it. And see that? Really kind of amplifies the light a bit. Yeah. It's turning colors. And that just sits in the middle, shining these bands of light. Green, red, blue. Probably some, you mix them and you get like a purple and different things. But yeah, 24/7 that goes. And the plants still bloom. Light from outside the window comes in. Sometimes the bedroom lights stay on longer. I don't know that the light period has a whole lot to do with it. At least maybe not as much as we would like to think. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to turn the lights back on. I'll give the fish time to adjust. I won't turn his light on. There he is, going in circles. Yeah, right now, because he's stressed probably more than anything. He got a water change, and I'm standing here making a video. Yeah, lots going on right now. Okay, I know. I'll get the video made, and then maybe you can relax some. Okay, so, yeah, blight, I don't know, is all that important. It sits in an eastern window, cars driving by, the jellyfish. They still bloom every year, a couple of 3 times. So, yeah, I don't know. You might be able to encourage a rebloom or a bloom at a specific time of year. Might help. I don't know. Mine just bloom when they want to. This one's not a very good bloom. You may have noticed this plant seems to be struggling. I don't know. This one just is kind of on the struggle bus. I'm careful about watering. I try to make sure that it's dry when I water, but not so dry that it's going backwards. But still, we've got that white film. The white rocks have turned brown. A lot of that has to do with they get aquarium water all the time. Whatever's in it, that's what they get. Bits of food that the fish don't eat, whatever's in their waste, whatever's in the aquarium water ends up feeding these plants. And it's every time they get water. They don't just get distilled water just before blooming. Nope. Nitrogen-laden water every watering. Sometimes it's got salt in it. The fish food may change. But they always get a natural fertilizer, I like to think of it. I don't stop fertilizing for blooming. They still bloom. So there's just, there's a couple of things. They just keep their fertilizer. That's on them 24/7. I don't think it does much of anything, but it's been on as long as I've had the plants. So, yeah. It sits in the middle. I don't think these plants need to be as tricky as some people would like. A nice, chunky soil, because like orchids that I had basically on the other channel, same name, technically different channel, yeah, they're epiphytes, as orchids are. My orchids just really didn't like the move, and I've barely tried to replace them. These guys seem to have loved it. with the exception of this one that wants to be dramatic. The other main point, Thanksgiving cactus, Easter cactus, Christmas cactus, they don't change depending on when they bloom. You know, depending on how I water, they might change, you know, a month or two when they bloom. Because of reblooming. Maybe, you know, they'll start blooming a month later in the year because they bloomed 4 times the previous year. And the blooming time maybe moves around just a little bit. It doesn't change what it is. It's a Thanksgiving cactus. This one's white. It will always be, until the day it dies, a white Thanksgiving cactus. Now, your true Christmas cactus doesn't have these teeth. See, they kind of look like teeth coming off the side. Claws, whatever you want to call them. The Christmas cactus doesn't have those. I think that it's got the same basic bloom, but you distinguish it by no teeth on the leaves. And I don't believe the Easter cactus has much for teeth on its leaves either. But that one, unless I'm getting the other two mixed up, that one has a unique bloom. So, yeah. When they bloom has nothing to do with it. They are literally 3 different plants. Closely related, but 3 different plants. I only have Thanksgiving. I suspect it's the most common. White blooms, yellow blooms, a little less common maybe, but they're still Thanksgiving cactus, regardless of when it wants to bloom. That was something I saw, and she's like, oh yeah, if it blooms at Easter time, it's an Easter cactus. At Thanksgiving, at least I think that's what they were saying. And I thought, no. They did have the one, whether it's Easter or Christmas, they did have the one with the unique bloom in their video. But I don't think they talked about Easter at all. And like I say, I think it's the Easter cactus that has the unique bloom. So, basically is all I'm really saying is, you know, just because somebody has a plant doesn't necessarily mean they've got the best advice. Maybe they've got a pretty plant, but they just bought it this season and are making videos about it. This one hasn't looked great for a couple, 3 years now. I'm pretty much positive it has to do with my watering schedule. Yet, I water them all at the same time and the rest of them don't look this bad. So maybe it has a virus. You know, I don't know. If you think you know what kind of virus that maybe it has, you know, you can let me know. But whatever it is, it doesn't seem to be contagious. None of the other plants, not even the Thanksgiving cactuses, have quote-unquote caught whatever its problem is. So, I don't know. I've only had success with these guys for, 3-4 years, something like that now. But I am succeeding, so there's that. And then I just thought I would show the plant that I was 100% sure was dead, but I was watering a brown stick because why not? I thought I'll water a brown stick for a while. Maybe a miracle will happen. Yeah, one definitely did. It's working now on its 4th leaf. So, fingers crossed I don't make a mistake again. Because look at that leaf in particular. Really? You don't want one? You don't want a plant that puts out leaves like that? Here's some more. None of these leaves just impress you. That one's nearly completely white. Really? You don't like these leaves? Alright. Maybe you don't like the variegated version. If that's the case, so be it. But I really like them. And I think, personally, that is my favorite. A little too close. Yeah, I just really like that one. This one's pretty neat in its own way. All right. 15 minutes is long enough. I'll talk to you next time.